Hi everybody, this is your Vanz from Vanz Centerstage. How have you been? With me today is an amazing guest speaker that I would like to all of y'all to meet up, and something we have in common. It's our name. Interesting, right? Yes. When I first met this young lady, she really attracted me. Okay, it's how she looked, how she talked, and what she's doing is really amazing. She is a scientist by profession. She's a social entrepreneur. She's also a writer. Many of the things that she's doing right now actually astounded me. Here I am, so happy to introduce to you Vani. Okay, hi everybody. With me is Dr. Vani. Hi Vani.
Hi.
Saying hi to all our viewers from Vanz Centerstage. We're getting very comfortable here because we just had some chit chat going on. Okay, I have said something about Vani just now, and now you know that Vani and myself have something in common. Our names. Yeah, when I first contacted her, I say hi Vani. She called hi Vani. So it's like hi Vani to another Vani. So yes. Okay, Vani. Let me ask you something. Maybe tell us something about yourself, about your family, and where you came from.
Well, I come from a very small town of India. It's called Allahabad, and it's known as a holy place where three rivers meet, Sangam. So I studied there. I did my master's from there. Been born and raised up there. And I come from a very humble background. My dad was a prof, and my mom a housewife. But since I was a child, they have instilled a lot of independence and values in me, which I could see that how they are paying off now. And
You're the only daughter.
I have one brother also, my brother as well. And then from there, I got married after that, and I moved to Bangalore. From Bangalore to Malaysia, Singapore. Since then, the journey started. Okay. So, my husband works with manufacturing firms. He's into management, and I studied. I went to Malaysia and I studied. I did my PhD in biotechnology. Went back to India, started working as a scientist in Beckman Coulter, which is one of the firm that designs diagnostic devices for HIV. So while I was doing it, I really loved my work because it was meant to be for the people who are in sub-Saharan African countries and in Indian country where you can't really have sophisticated devices. So it was a good challenging work while I was at it. And yes, I have two children. One is 7 years, both boys. I generally like to say I have three boys. One is the oldest one, my husband.
All women have the same thing, yeah? You're the eldest boy.
Eldest boy is my husband, Rahul. And then I have two more boys. One is Siddhant, he's 7 years old. And another one is Kabir. And Kabir is 1.5 years old.
Oh, he's still so young.
Yes,
yeah,
he is.
Very good. Okay, thank you for sharing. Now, I was just telling to our viewers that you have started something very unique, something very special. And the two foundations that you have started, Faith Foundation and Sanrakshan.
Sanrakshan, yes.
I'm very keen to know, how did the Sanrakshan name came about?
Well, me and my partner here, we have been thinking about, because I started Faith Foundation around 4 years back in India.
Okay.
And then I came to Singapore because I had this in my mind that anywhere I go, I could continue this work, Okay. So then I was sitting with my partner, and we were thinking that what name should we give this particular venture, which is based on Faith's concept, but the Faith Foundation name is not available to us, right? So then she, who happens to be a Eurasian Singaporean, her name is Joanne, she said, Vani, why don't we put something which is Sanskrit, which is very ancient. And
it looks very Sanskrit to me.
It is Sanskrit, and people feel connected to it. And then we thought, okay, what exactly are we doing? So we are actually protecting the childhood. We are restoring the childhood and restoring the dignity and that sort of thing. So we thought it is about protection. So why don't we say Sanrakshan? Sanrakshan means protection. So then we both were okay with it. Like, okay, let's call it Sanrakshan.
So when did you start start this organizations? I know that Faith Foundation started all the way back when you were in India.
Yes, it was in Bangalore, and I started it when I was working also when I was working with Beckman Coulter as scientist. Side by side, I started Faith Foundation, and I used to do some workshop with little children and teenage girls and boys, and teach them about how to take care of their body, and what is the safe and the unsafe touch, and all those things. I was doing it just like that, and then slowly I saw that the demand is there, and people came and they started talking about it, and they said that, why can't you have an organization dedicated to it? And then like-minded friends came along, and before I knew, it became a full-blown organization. I still can't believe that.
How does it? Because I'm very keen here to know. You coming from a background of a doctor, okay?
Yeah.
And you're doing something that's very giving to society.
Right.
Why did you do something? Because we know that Faith Foundation, it is to help out the abused women.
Yes,
the
and
kids
children.
Children, right?
Yeah.
Why this? What triggered you to really start this?
I happened to meet a woman. It's a very simple story, but at the same time, it touched my heart somehow. I met this woman, and she was in the last trimester of her pregnancy. She was 8 months pregnant, and somehow she came to me. I don't know how she felt that she could connect to me. She said that she wants to abort her child, and because my son at that point in time was 3 or 4 years old, 4 years old if I'm not mistaken, and then the mother in me was judgmental, and I was like, why would somebody want to abort their child at this moment? How could she do that without understanding?
This was in India, right?
In India. And then she came back, she told me further, and she said that she has been abused as a child, and she has been abused by one of her aunt. So that was eye-opening, heart-wrenching, and it just shook me, when she told me everything about what she has gone through, how she feels. It all just connected, the way she was, her decisions, the way she connected with the other people, the way her professional decisions were made. Everything just fell together, and I could understand that each and everything is connected back to the past that she is still living. So it's very, and that's when I thought it is very important to, even if it is happening to children, one, that it shouldn't happen to anyone, children or women. Two, if it is happening, the moment it is happening, they should be able to talk about it and just disconnect from that like any other accident, or so that it doesn't affect their entire life. So so that is how the journey started.
Yeah. That was how long ago?
That was 5 years ago.
5 years ago.
5 years ago.
Okay, so did the lady finally go for the abortion?
No, she didn't
go.
No.
Okay. Right.
So with her, it was very interesting because somehow what happened is that I was connected to her, and she started, and I told her to write a letter to your abuser or to yourself, and write down all the experiences that you had. And I still remember, I was driving my car. She called me up, and I parked my car at the place, and she said, do you have some time? I said, yes, I have. Tell me what you want. Then she said that I want to read this letter to you. So I told her, okay, you read this letter, you continue to read it till the time the words stop affecting you. And she and I still remember, I am in the car and I'm listening to her, and she continues to read and read and reread. I think we did it for 5 or 6 times, and then finally she gave a sigh, I gave a sigh, she stopped, and after that, that's it.
Amazing. Yeah, really good. You were just telling about that this girl was actually abused by her auntie.
Yes.
And statistics has shown that out of 10, 8 cases, the abuse is done by their loved ones. Do you agree on that? Statistics?
Yes, that's very true. Most of the time, the abuser is in the home or very close, in your very close circle, because for a child, to be abused or for somebody to come and touch a child, this person has to be a trusted adult, right? Somebody who they know very well, who is probably friend or family or a relative, sometimes own parents, So
Agree.
80% of the time.
And it's very saddening fact that it happens a lot often for young kids, because these are the trustworthy people, that they are surrounded with, like you said, dads, uncles, brothers, and these are the people the child gets the first trust
Exactly.
into the world. When they came to the world, they are introduced as their father, as their brother, or as their friend, and this is what they get in return. How do you find it as a challenge because this child doesn't know that he or she is going through is an abuse case.
Right.
How do you make that child realize that it is an abuse?
Right. So before I come to that, I would also like to say it is not always the male gender who's abusing.
Okay.
Even though statistics shows that there's more towards the male gender who are the abuser, but the female gender is also abuser at the same time. So clearing that out, now I will tell you, when we talk to children, like the children we start talking to children from the age of 4. We don't tell them the word sex or the word sexual abuse. Instead, we use the word safe and unsafe touch. Okay. So we tell them an unsafe touch is a touch which makes you feel in a certain way that you don't like. That is, makes you feel sad, makes you feel confused, makes you feel like crying, makes you feel painful. So if any kind of such touch is happening to your body, it is unsafe, it is unhealthy, and you are supposed to go out and talk about it.
Okay.
Go and tell it to somebody whom you trust, and keep telling it until someone comes to you and tells you that yes, I heard you and I will do something about it.
Okay. Because 4-year-old child sometimes can be very confused.
Exactly.
What he or she is going through at that stage.
Yeah.
Coming to confide to another person can be also another confusion stage.
Exactly. So it is about talking to them about what kind of emotions they are feeling. They won't understand the word abuse.
Definitely.
They won't understand the word sex because it is inappropriate vocabulary for them also at the same time, right?
Yes.
And they are not supposed to be exposed to that. Yes. So we use those words instead to make them understand that what it is and how you should deal with it, and we ask them to always talk, always take it up.
So who are your team people that back in Faith Foundation? Who are these people that's helping you out?
In Faith Foundation, most of the people are from counseling and training background who have done a lot of rigorous work with children, and one of our trainer, who is a master trainer, he's also a writer and he's a counselor. He has been working with the victim or the survivors of sexual abuse frequently. His name is Ishwar Sundaresan. Then another person who generally takes care of the entire operation in India and holds it all together, facilitation of workshop and everything. His name is Jay Shankar. He is a serial entrepreneur, and right now he is also associated with Infosys, which is one of the software giant in India. And then after that, Rahul, my husband, he also looks at whenever he gets time, he looks at what kind of work I'm doing, supports me, and also sometimes with the finances.
So that's nice to have your husband, your other spouse helping you out.
Yes.
That's very interesting. I didn't know about that.
Yes, it is interesting is the word.
So I need to say thanks to Rahul over here, opportunity to say
hey Rahul, I love you and thank you.
Okay. Now, what were your challenges, that you faced and you think you still face having this foundation started?
Acceptance. Because this is such an issue which is generally pushed aside under the carpet. No one is going to talk about it, and
acceptance in society.
In society.
Okay.
Number one is acceptance in society. Number two is acceptance also in the family where it has happened. Like for example, recently there was this survivor of sexual abuse who came to one of the shows that I am associated with, and she has been bold enough to come and talk about it. She was from Singapore. She is Singaporean. She told everything that has happened, but later on when she goes back home and she shares with her parents that this is what I have done and I have talked about it, and this is what has happened to me. The parents say, and this mind you, this is probably a woman who's already in her 30s.
Okay.
And the parents say, you know what, if this airs, we are going to disown you and we are going to disown your child. So, the acceptance.
Yeah, you're not giving the right for the child to talk. She's not even a child. She's a
well mature woman.
She's having her own decision making.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But this is what happened, and this happened here
In Singapore.
In India also. I mean, I think none of the countries in the world have different approach to it. It is always hushed because most of the time the people involved are very close to you, your family member, main breadwinner. So that's one thing. That another thing is when we talk to the adolescents or we are talking to teenager girls and boys, sometimes we face some sort of restrictions around you talk this, you don't talk this. I mean, you talk about you can talk about safe and unsafe sex, but you cannot talk about LGBT community.
Of course, yes.
Right? So those are the things which we regularly face, and we try, and that's what we keep in mind when we do it, is that whatever education we could give, let's go and give it to them, because if we won't do it, no one else is going to do it. So even if there are some restrictions, just follow them and give whatever they are okay with.
That's nice. Okay, Vani, I'm sure you've seen many cases of abuse.
Yes.
Okay. Really, just one particular incident which was very close to you and you really felt that this was it.
The abuse incident.
Yes.
Well, I could tell you about the incidents, but I can't tell you about
one particular person. Yes.
the person. Or
Maybe a series like you feel that you can share, that viewers can get to know.
Sure. I have known a male child who has been abused by another male from the family, and this particular one is very shocking to me, and I was shocked because it was like, I have always heard that male child is abused, but I have never seen one or somebody who come to me and told me about it.
Okay.
So it was the first incident that was shocking. Another shocking incident was when I was taking a workshop, and then later on another male who was 40 plus, and he came and he told me that, you know what, I'm glad that Faith Foundation is doing this work. I have been abused, and I don't know how to tell my children to take care of themselves, because it is a very sensitive topic, and I don't know which language to use and connect to. So that was another shocking incident, and as you could see, I am not going into the details of any of those.
Yeah, thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
All right, Faith Foundation, how many kids do you presently have?
Have shared it with?
Yes.
Okay, so I think around 16,000 children we have already covered by 2015, and right now in next 6 months we are going to cover another 16,000 children in India.
Wow.
So it started initially as a slow process. We grew organically. So what we did in the past 3 years, now we are going to do in the next 6 months, so another 16,000. And well, we are starting Sanrakshan here, so in Sanrakshan, let's see how. And then yes, I think 600 kids in Cambodia.
Oh, okay. I want to hear about Cambodia.
Yeah.
So Faith Foundation is also in Cambodia.
Faith Foundation does works in Cambodia. It associates with other foundations. From Singapore, we have been associated and very grateful to Operation Hope Foundation. They have the children home there, where they rehabilitate the children who have been vulnerable and at risk. So with them we have worked. And then we have worked with Salt Lake Ministry in Siem Reap, also one of the collaborations there. And yes, we went there and we worked with children. We also worked with the trainers, caregivers, the house parents. It was an amazing experience.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So any recent trip that you're making to Cambodia?
Soon. Not this year, next year.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice. Okay. I have met you actually through a TV series called Secrets of Womanhood. Right? That was a very interesting program, TV series.
Right.
And that's where I actually came to know more about you.
Oh,
Okay? And one of my favorite hosts was doing it. Shan Bedi was actually hosting the...
She's also one of my favorite hosts.
Yes, she's beautiful and she hosts very well. Yeah. And can you tell us what actually triggered this Secret of Womanhood?
Secrets of Womanhood. I think what triggered is Mr. Anil. Who else? So Mr. Anil.
How many episodes were there?
12. 13. Total of 13 episodes, but 13 was more of behind the scene.
Okay.
And 12 episodes were about different topics, as you would have seen it.
I've seen, yeah. Actually, I've seen about 4 episodes. I didn't get to see everything, but I've seen 4 of the episodes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. So some of the girls who acted there was actually our previous contestants from our Global Expat Singapore.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Okay. Oh,
So Anil actually used some of our contestants actually today. So it was actually good. Anil.
Okay, Anil sir.
Okay. Now, some future plans for yourself.
Some future plans for myself is writing more TV series. Wait for interesting ones. I can't open myself much right now.
Yes, I'm looking forward.
Yes, but look, I'm also looking forward. There's a very exciting project which is again close to my heart that I'm doing, and looking forward for its success. Then after that, maybe another one. Anil sir, you are hearing it.
Okay. Thank you so much, Vani, for sharing with us till now. And let's stay tuned as we get to hear more about Vani on the fun side of her. Stay tuned.